sorry, could you repeat that, please? I didn't catch it. Yeah. This is not a good time actually because I'm doing that. Getting ready to do it. Okay, yeah, yeah, do that, and I'll check it out and get back with you. I appreciate that. All right, thank you. Thank you. Bye.
This angle would be better if I put over there, over here, over here.
You know that stuff better than me. I don't know. But then is it gonna is it gonna maybe over there because you know why I say that because you pretty much gonna be aimed that way.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty much aimed that way too because most of the time I'll be looking at you this way. But if it's there, it would catch me from this side.
Okay.
So I think it would, don't you?
Yeah. Are there any plugs over there? Or never mind, I see one.
I see some.
There's one behind the computer.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, on it.
Dang. This probably does work too. Yeah, that does look way better.
Yep.
I wonder if you could hear it though.
You mean on your
On the mic. It's not that hot. I don't think so, right?
What?
Are you hot?
No.
I think I'm set. Oh, okay, good. I was gonna say, should have told you bring like a drink or something.
Yeah, I'm learning. So I have to figure out something to sip on.
Oh, camera's there. 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I guess it. But in my earphones it sounds kind of low. Oh, that's better. Yeah, I can turn your headphones up.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, please, cause yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yep, that's good right there. 1, 2, 3. In my ears. And I like that background music too.
Yeah, he makes good beats.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll start in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
First or the keep it moving first?
Let's do the quiet heroes.
It'll be like playing pretend.
Okay.
Like I'm a real radio person.
That's okay, yeah. Mhm.
It's funny because I always wanted to do something like this.
Yeah, do it, do your thing. I'll go along with it.
Okay. All right, ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
To Nostalgia Park, where we empower artists through support, resources, and collaboration. Today we are here with my grandfather. I don't know if you want me to say your name or. And we're here to support and see how we can help push this thing move forward into the next phase. Starting, this will be first to get this in the correct. We're doing our best and trying to be an example that no matter where you're coming from or what stage of ideas that you have, just starting is the most important part. And yeah, hopefully this can be an inspiration to an attempt at accomplishing your dreams. But basically just a quick introduction of who yeah.
My name is Charles, and I'm here with my lovely granddaughter, and I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for her, because this technology stuff is just too much for us old folks. But anyway, with her help and assistance, you know, I was able to run an idea past her, and it's something that I've thought about off and on, actually during my lifetime, because I know that in my life, at a particular time in my life, there was a couple people who were really, you know, they really had a significant impact on me, and even in my life at that time, and even as I grew older. And I never forgot that. And the older I got, the more I appreciated what they did, because I did realize the effect and, you know, that it had in my life. And I'm happy to say in a positive way. Of course, we all have our negative situations and challenges in our life, but I like to focus on, on the positive things sometimes, because again, we seem to be like bombarded like a tsunami of bad news all the time. And I was just thinking about it. And um, again, in my life, there was a couple of people in particular that really meant a lot to me. They did did or said something that, it just stuck with me and had a big impact on my mindset through the years. And I always wanted to uh, let them know how much I appreciated, what they said or what they did in my life. But unfortunately, in my situation, I never had an opportunity to, because they passed on before I really had an opportunity to let them know how much I appreciated what they said and did in my life. And so I realized that, these people to me, they were my heroes, in my life. I considered them as heroes in my life. And the thing about it is, when I realized that I couldn't, uh, you know, you know, give them appreciation or show my appreciation to them for what they had did in my life, um, it was unfortunate. And so, but to me, I just labeled them in my heart and in my mind as my quiet heroes, because, their story will never be told. You won't see it in the newspaper or TV or radio or anything, but I know the story. And to have this opportunity, I just think that this is the least I could do, is to, you know, tell their story and what it meant to me. And I'm sure that everybody probably has a same type of similar story, where somebody in their lives or came into their lives who had a significant impact in their lives from some something that they said or did that had a significant impact on the individual. But mine in particular, I like to talk about it. When I was a young kid, we grew up in poverty. I came from a large family. My mother had 15 children and everything. So we were poor, and we were, we lived in the inner city, actually in the projects. So it was rough. We were poor and everything. When I was real young, 6, 7, and stuff like that, you don't realize how poor you are. You just, because everybody in the neighborhood, you see them around, and everybody's there where you're at. So, and so you just think that everything's all right, But
Before you go any further, because I know you're probably about to get into your quiet hero, right?
yes.
Before we go into that, I wanted to first focus on what exactly Quiet Heroes is, and because I feel like I know that this is your idea, so you understand it. But for people who don't understand it and don't understand what exactly you're trying to do, how would you explain your motivation for wanting to do this, and what exactly do you want to accomplish with Quiet Heroes? But I do want to get into who your quiet hero is, definitely.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, my motivation is that like I indicated earlier, never had the opportunity to thank these people for what they did and what they meant to me in my life, because unfortunately they passed away. And when they did, I was living out of state in another state, so I I actually wasn't even aware when they had passed, but they did. But I always kept those memories in mind. So and I believe that, there's probably many people who have the same type of situation where they had someone in their life. So my main motive is to,
Kind of like to acknowledge these people and
first
give
of
them
all,
respect,
yes,
or make
yes,
basically acknowledgement.
yes,
Acknowledge the people that you feel like had a major impact on you, and kind of do the best that you can to repay them for how they impacted your life.
yes. And this and so, being that they're not alive anymore for me to personally acknowledge them, I just want to kind of give them a shout out, in a way, um, too. And it's my way of putting out there my appreciation, and letting, so that others can know that, you know, how much we can and should appreciate people like this in our lives. So, and I know that pretty much everybody has a similar story that they can tell, you know. So that's what I'm trying, that's my motivation, is to encourage people to tell their story, you know, about the individuals in their life who made a difference. Because it's a positive thing, and it's something that, you know, we all can use in our lives, is positiveness, you know, especially in times of challenging times like we live in today. So that's my motivation, is really to motivate others to, and hopefully in their situation they still can acknowledge that person
Like giving people
yes,
their roses while they can smell them.
yes, in real life, yeah, in real life, and their situation can be a little different from mine, but this is all I have. I feel like this is all I have left, and so I just wanna, like they say, shout it from the rooftop. I know they can't hear me now. They may not be able to hear me and everything, but I never got the opportunity. But I feel like I should do that, and I'm hoping that, you know, others will do the same for
And
those in
I
their life.
really like the idea. My favorite part about the idea is just the fact that you want to include other people to talk about theirs, because I feel like to get acknowledged from a stranger or from a platform is just different than, I don't know, like, I feel like acknowledging people in general is a good idea, even if it means like giving them a card or even as simple as a text message, but just telling them that you appreciate them and for how they've helped you in your life is definitely something that we should do more often in life. Because it definitely goes unnoticed most of the time.
Yes.
I think that's why you call it quiet heroes, because
Yes.
they don't usually get, and they usually do it because acknowledged, and that's what makes it so important. But we do want to encourage you to, with or without a platform, to call people, text people, whatever level you decide to do it on. If you want to send a card or whatever, but if somebody has really impacted you in your life and you do hold that in your heart, it's great to let that person know, because these people that do these type of things don't ever get that, and it goes unnoticed, and it probably would, I'm probably 100% sure it will mean the world to them.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a really, really good idea, and I love helping people too. But that help people is even a better feeling. So I think it's a really, really good idea.
Yes.
So before you get into who your quiet hero is, what do you, a little bit like a text message or a phone call or a card, but what do you think the best way to was change, I can't find the right words sometimes, but
Yeah.
what do you think will be the best way to, that you care and that you appreciate them?
I think there's various ways, you know, to go about it. You mentioned a couple, but also, you know, just as far as I'm concerned, I think that a personal visit, you know, face to face, you know, let them see how you feel about it. Not only hear how you feel about it on through a text or a telephone call.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
But you know, it's more personal when you are actually sitting with that person,
Right.
and you can take them back to
Right.
that example, let them know, when it was, and exactly what they said or what they did for you, and how it affected your life in a positive way. So to me, the best way would be, you know, in person. I know that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see them and just, you know, face to face, and tell them, you know, just how much I appreciated what they did for me, and how much it helped me in my later life too, you know. So that I think is the best way. And of
Right.
course, yeah, you know, cards you know, even even to if I had a pocket full of money and I was with them, I certainly want to give them a you know, a financial um, offering or something. Probably knowing the people they are, they probably wouldn't take it. But I'd even like to be able to do that, you know. But even more so,
No,
just
yeah.
the fact to be able to, I think, doing it face to face.
Right, right. You
would be the mo-
definitely one up mine because yeah, that's way better than a text message. I
Mhm.
feel like though too,
Mhm.
thinking more deeply into it. I feel like if you, because at some levels, when people, I feel like there's almost no way you can repay them. But at the same time, I feel like the best way you could probably repay them is just by being the best person that you could be. That's the best. I think that's the best way to try to repay them too. Like you can, now you made me into a better person and people and it's all of it's good ideas. All of it's good ideas.
Mhm.
So how would you thinking of the hows, if just visualizing, how would you want to help someone else try to repay one of their quiet heroes if you acknowledging them obviously and shouting them out if there is anything else, or do you think
Like I said, if I was a millionaire, if I was a rich person, you know, I would acknowledge them through a gift, through a gift. You know, if I owned a car dealership, I'd give them a car.
right,
You know, a brand new car. I'd park a brand new car in front of the house and give them the keys, or you know, and stuff like that. So,
right,
but like you said, there's no real price that you can pay
right.
for somebody who made such a big difference in your life as on from a material basis. You know what I mean? So
What if you even had instead of giving, you had the person with the quiet person in mind have a goal that they want to reach. Like, just for an example, say I wanted to repay somebody because they really, and maybe I was more fit than I am now, but maybe I said like I'll run a marathon in dedication to you, or um, anything honestly.
yeah.
That is, I'm trying to think. I'm just trying to think. Spitball right now.
Yeah. No, but you're right. You're on the right track
Or
because
even, you know what I think would be a good idea? If they do something for someone else in dedication to that person. I appreciate you and everything that you've done for me, and you've genuinely made me a better person, and bake a cake. But I'm gonna attempt to be a quiet hero for someone else.
there you go. Yeah.
Mm.
Pass it on. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you know, do a good deed for someone else. You know, that's kind of with that in mind. You know, that's passing it on. You receive something, and you give something. You know, and I think that's what it's all about. You know, it's kind of like when you feel like you've been blessed, or you've been given a blessed, or you've been blessed in your life. Then I think it's only right to bless someone else's life. You know what I mean? Bless someone else. You know, I mean, and
Pass it on.
yes, pass it on because that's so important because um, it's just another side of life that it seems like it's not so apparent anymore because you know you hear so much negativity until you wonder where the good side of life is sometimes. You know, it can make you think that or wonder, well, what is good in life? You know what I mean? But quiet as it's kept, there's a lot of good that goes on. You know, a lot of, for instance, a lot of single women with children. I mean, they work hard. They struggle to support those kids and to think what they have to deal with. as a single parent, raising a family and stuff, things like that. It's hard, and but it's a heroic thing. Actually, when you think about it, it's an heroic thing because she could give up. She could just, say this is overwhelming. It's too much. But I admire that when you see a single woman, and she's got children and she's raising those children and she raised those children and she works hard and and it's obvious that she dedicates her life to those children. It's not about her anymore. She makes it obvious it's about them. So you gotta admire that and you gotta praise that because it's really a wonderful thing. So things like that is going on, and people just don't hear about these things all the time because you tend to focus on the bad things because there's so much of it, and the bad things they seem like they're so large. Oh wow, and people in it with a tendency to make you say wow. So people can get absorbed in the negativity aspect of life, but when you stop to think about it, there's another side to life. There's a positive, good side to life that a lot of activity is going on that you don't hear about again on the news or on the radio or read about it. So I think more attention should be paid to that.
Yes.
So again, everyone probably has a story of their own. Somebody has either was in their life or came into their life that unbeknownst to that individual, they played a role in this person's life.
Right.
And they don't even know that. And they probably will never know that unless you let them know that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're doing it from the heart. They just think that this is something that they want you to know. This is something that they want to give you from their heart. But and they're not looking for any reward. They're not looking for anything back. It's just it's a good deed that they want to do for you. And it's so, it's such a positive thing. It's just not talked about enough.
Right.
And
to segue back into how we started,
mm-hmm.
Are you ready to share your quiet hero?
Yeah. Okay. So when it was actually, I would say a few of them in my life, but the first one started when I was a child, and like I said, we were poor. We didn't have very much, and but there was a lady that lived. I don't know how she knew, but she could. It seems like she always showed up at the right. My mother was struggling. My father had passed away. My mother was struggling, and there was just never enough money around, and sometimes there was hardly money for food. But somehow this neighbor, she seemed to know when we were at our lowest, and she would always show up, and I'd see her handing like a piece of white paper to my mother from the screen door. I'd be in the living room as a kid, and I'd be looking over there, and I'd see her. But it always brought joy to my heart when I saw it because I knew something good was going to happen. Because that's the way I got to receive her that way when I saw her. But come to find out later in my life what it was, and even later I found on a personal basis because my mother would give me a little note to take over there, and it would be during these times when we had very little food in the house and things like that. But I'd take that note over there, and she would say, go give this to her. Alice was her name. And she said, go take this note to Alice, and I'd take it over there. And I'd knock on the door, and Alice would come to the door, and I'd hand her the note as a little kid. And she'd take the note, and she'd say, wait, stay right there. And then she'd leave for a minute or two, and she'd come back. She'd give me the same piece of paper folded up, and I wouldn't, at that time, I didn't. Most of the time, one time I peeked in the paper, and I saw that it was money in the paper. So then I knew that's what had been going on all the time. Mm-hmm. She was giving my mom money to help us out, and of course, we were able to eat that night or something like that. And I really came to admire this woman greatly because she had a family of her own. And there was times when she would send over a big pot of stew, that she had made, and I'm sure it took her all day to make a pot of stew the size of that pot that it was that she would send over, and we would be able to eat and everything. And at that time as a kid, I didn't really realize the significance of that. But when I got older, and and got a family of my own, and got to see how life was and everything, and then looking back at her situation, it just made me so appreciative and grateful for what she had done, you know. And she always would have a smile on her face too. Like even when she would come to the door and give me the piece, she'd always, have this pleasant smile on her face. So I came to have really very positive feelings for this lady, and I liked her. I mean, I looked at her like an aunt, something like that. But again, I always, when I got older, I always wanted to be able to go back home and let this lady know personally how I felt about what she had done. But then I found out little too late that she had passed away, and I didn't know it. I didn't find out till months and months later that she had passed away, and I just felt so deprived. I said, "Wow, man!" I really felt, "Wow, I never got a chance." And I blamed myself for it. So, I started saying, well, you should have said something earlier. You should have said something. And I should have, but, you know how life gets in the way sometimes. You do things and you just forget. And, but it's always with you. It never leaves you, that feeling that you have for that individual. It's always there. But, yes, but in my case, I was too late. So, and that's what gave me the idea about quiet heroes, because that's what she was. She was a quiet hero. She didn't know it. Nobody talked about what she did.
You almost didn't know it.
Right, and I almost didn't know it, until I realized, as I got older, when I grew up, became a man, then I realized what that lady had done, and how significant it was for me and my family, and everything. So she was the first one, and so that's what motivated me or stimulated me to come up with the name Quiet Heroes, because she was my quiet hero. She'll never know about it, and so it just gives me joy to be able to express it, and let it out there, and so and encourage other people to do the same, and hopefully do it now, do it as soon as you can. Let those people know the effect that they had in your life.
Right.
And so it was her. She was the main one, of course. And then I had an aunt. Similar situation with my aunt to her, because we were so poor when we was young. We really didn't celebrate the holidays. But whenever when she made sure that we did enjoy the holidays when they came, because she would literally come pick us up, take us to her house. She had kids too, so that we could enjoy Christmas and Halloween and the different holidays, so we could enjoy it, because we couldn't afford it. My mother couldn't afford it because it was so many of us kids, and she just didn't have the money to buy gifts and presents and celebrate the holidays and things. So she was one. So there's been a few, like I said, and then I had a coach that that encouraged me to try harder instead of giving up so easily. Because I tried out for sports, and a couple of times I just gave up and everything, but he, for some reason, took an interest in me, and he encouraged me to, even though, well, the lesson I got from is that even though you fall sometime in life, get up. Don't stay down. Get up and try again. And then and so I took that advice from him, and he leaned on me to learn that advice, because every time he would see that I would fail at something in his gym class and everything, especially in swimming, because I like swimming, and he saw that I like swimming, but I didn't have the I don't know what you would call it, the courage to go on when I would fail, and I'd want to give up, and he'd come behind me and he'd say, no. He'd say, okay, you didn't accomplish what you wanted today, but you can accomplish it tomorrow. You feel like you failed today, but failure is temporary. You can win tomorrow if you just keep, you get back up and you try again, you get back up. So he was another quiet hero because with his help, I was one of the, I joined the swim team, but I was one of the slower swimmers on the team. But with his encouragement, by the time we started swimming in seventh grade, and regardless to how many times I wanted to give up, and he would push me. So and because of him pushing me, by the time I got in the from the seventh grade, by the time I got in the ninth grade, I was swimming for the city championship and the state championships. So I had become a better swimmer than everybody in my school, and also went to compete in a national race. So you know, that was another quiet hero in my life that taught me how to don't give up in life. You can't give up, even though things seem rough and times will come that may seem dark in your life and everything. But you got to realize that everything is temporary. It's just temporary, and that's what he helped me to see. This is a temporary situation you're in now. That you don't give up. You don't give up tomorrow because you failed today. Tomorrow is going to be different. You can make tomorrow different, you know. And so with his help, I was able to practice more, put up more effort, and it paid off in life. And so that lesson I carried all through my life. So and then so I finally come to realize that failure is just a process in the effort for success.
Right.
Failure and success, it goes together. You know, like hand in glove. Failure and success go together because you can't have one without the other. Actually, in life, so
But the people that help you get through those moments,
yes,
are the best.
and that's the thing, yeah, and that's the thing that, you know, I try to, you know, or that I'm trying to get across in this message that I'm trying to put out now. This the idea has been in my head for a while, but you know, I just didn't know how to proceed with it, you know. So again,
Yeah, shout out to all of the quiet heroes. Shout out to Alice. There's not a lot of people that would do something like that. Or not, there's not a lot of people where you could even feel to ask something like that, and then for them to do it such a there's not a lot of people like that in the world. I watch a lot of social media and stuff, and most of the heroes are very, very loud about it, and they'll record walking up to homeless people and embarrass them or anything, but because they want the acknowledgement from the world. And there's not a lot of people that would just simply help someone just out of the kindness of their heart and not even expect anything in return. Shout out to all the people that are making a difference in other people's lives and help get through and leaving them in return, and get through things, because it's never good to, or I don't know, like I really don't like the whole recording giving homeless, like, why are you walking up to me with a camera? Like, I would feel, I'm already vulnerable, I'm already in this state, why are you recording me?
Embarrassed enough.
But now you're helping me too, so it's just strange. It's like, why do you have to record me? But it's like, I have to get this out of it if I'm gonna help you. So it's not a lot of people out there who, but actually, you know what, now that I say that, there are a lot of people out there that do these things. We just don't know about them.
Exactly.
We just don't know about them, we just don't see them. And we don't give them the acknowledgement that they deserve. So hopefully we can try to do that more often than not, because they definitely deserve it. Those type of people, different. They're built different. They're built different. They have different. The size of their heart is a little bit larger than most people. Yeah, but they deserve the love. They deserve deserve it all.
So hence the name quiet heroes.
Mhm.
See, because they nobody would know about it, but they ain't gonna tell it. You know, so but you know.
It's kind of like if you ever watch a superhero movie, they
Mhm.
always show them in real life, and in real life they're not that important. But then they put on this suit at night, and then they go out in the world, and the world knows who Batman is. The world knows who Superman is. Yeah. But imagine if they never put the suit on. Imagine if they never
Exactly.
did the extreme things, but they was still Superman. Don't show that they care, but he's still really like not putting the uniform on, just not expecting anything in return. That is such a powerful way to show love to people.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping that this conversation will hit a nerve, stimulate a nerve with others to be able to talk about their quiet hero, because I believe most people have a story. Uh, I'm sure that they could share of someone in their life at some point did something so positive till it stuck with them in their lifetime, and it made a difference. And they too maybe never had a chance to let that person know what they did meant to
Right.
them.
Honestly, now that I think about it too, it's like every time it happens, you don't notice until it's too late. Just I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out why. Why is it like that? Why don't you notice it? But it's because they're not making an effort that they want anything. They don't even want you to notice. They don't even want you to notice that they're helping.
Exactly, exactly.
It's crazy.
So and so, but they, you know, it's good to let them know, because
When you
it
do,
does a lot
when
for
you,
them.
yeah, right.
You know
Whenever
what I
that
mean?
does click for you, definitely
Because
try
it
to
does.
reach out.
It's going to, you know, it's going to do a lot for them to know that, because so many people um, feel like they're just taken for granted,
Hmm.
you know, in life, and that happens all the time, where people just feel like they feel like they do, or they have done something, or they're trying to do something for somebody, and this person just shows no kind of acknowledgement, appreciation, or anything. So
Sometimes those people are the main people who, they might be the main person who needs help. Honestly, they might. That's why that acknowledgement really, really probably will mean the world to them.
yes,
Because people who have a heart that big, sometimes they forget about themselves and how important they are to everybody else.
that's a good point. That's true. They need to hear it. And so it's a positive thing all the way around, you know, and that's the whole idea, the premise, the motivation to come up with scenario
Right.
of letting it be known,
Right.
or doing
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea, and I think now we should be in the mode of basically just who and do you want to talk about it and be like the next one. If you find that anybody wants to talk about it, whether that be over the phone or in person, um, everyone has one. Everybody has a quiet hero. I have a quiet hero. I'm sure
pretty much, yeah.
if you take the time to be grateful for the things you think about it, you'll find somebody that has helped you in some type of way. Hopefully, like 90% sure everyone has a quiet hero that they will want to speak about. So yeah, we would love to hear from you guys. Who is changing where you wish that you if you haven't already, um what have they done for you? hopefully you have somebody in mind, and you can reach out to us. We'll figure out the hows and the details later, but just to put that out there that we are looking for people, we are looking for quiet heroes to acknowledge them, and show our support of just them as a person and what they do in life. Like you said, most news is, and you want to bring light to the people that don't get the light shined on them. Um, the goal. That's the goal.
Mhm.
We can bring somebody, or maybe we can even like surprise call someone if we don't find anyone, because everyone does have them.
Yes, yeah. And you know what? We would love to hear the stories.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it would be so interesting. It would, you know, we would love to hear it. You know, because it's just something that, you know, and it's probably something that, you know, everybody will be happy to talk about. You know, not only would we be interested, but I think most people would be interested to hear your story about that person that had made a difference in your life. You know what I mean? Because that's a big deal. You know what I mean? Actually, when you think about it, it's a big deal. So that was a very big thing that they did for you and to you in your life. And you know, and in contrast with, you know, we hear so many people getting hurt. You know, they're getting somebody hurt somebody. All you know, all the time. That's all you hear is somebody hurting somebody else, you know, in a negative way. But we know that these type things do happen. But again, you don't hear about those. You don't hear about the good things that neighbors are doing for neighbors or strangers are doing for strangers. We don't hear enough of that. Every now and then we may hear a story, rarely, you know, of it. But like like my granddaughter just said, everybody's got a story of something or someone
Mm.
in their life that made a significant in their life. And really, on a personal basis, I would love to hear your stories. I mean, I really would. I bet it'd be so interesting, just interesting to hear those stories and the difference that it made in these individuals' lives. So I myself look forward to that, hearing those stories. So and that's the whole point of this podcast, right?
Right,
The whole point of the podcast. We want to hear.
right.
Yeah.
I know I told you a little bit about mine in private, but I mean I have a couple. I mean obviously there's a lot. I don't know why I'm shy to talk about some of them,
Mm.
but I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I haven't soaked in how much I appreciate them yet,
Mhm.
and I need to. I do.
Mhm.
One about my substitute teacher back when I was in middle school.
Mm.
Um, Basically, one of our teachers left, our English teacher left, and we had a substitute English teacher. He didn't really know how to teach us. Um, like he didn't really know the curriculum. Substitute teachers don't really go to school for the subjects. Where he was there for like the next 6 months. So and he wouldn't know what to teach us, so he would just try to motivate us every single day. So he didn't know what to do, but he was gonna tell us to give and do our best. And for some reason, he would point me out of the class almost every day. I don't know why. And he would tell me to stand in front of the class and that I was the teacher.
Wow.
Maybe I'm laughing now because maybe it was because he really didn't know what to do. So
Well,
he made one
or
of my
maybe he
kids
saw
the
something.
teacher.
Maybe he saw something
Yeah.
in you too.
Right, that
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
that too. But he was a really good person, and you could tell he genuinely cared about all of us, even though he didn't have something um, in the curriculum to teach us at the time. He wanted the best for us, and he wanted to use the time that he had with us to drill into our head how important we are and um, how much we can make a difference. But when he used to make me stand in front of the class, it really just it made me feel like I didn't feel like offended by it. I honestly felt special. I really did. And it was like the first time I really felt important at school. Like I had a responsibility and I took it seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
But it made me feel, it gave me confidence as a person.
Exactly.
And I actually saw him later on in life when I was maybe past high school or maybe in high school. But I was walking through the mall and I saw him at a booth set up and he was selling books and he had written a motivational book.
Wow.
And I just thought that that was amazing because that's who he is. Like, that's who he was for me. So to see him still, I think I Googled his name after I saw him that day. And yeah, he's a motivational speaker now. And
Wow.
I hope that he really sparked it for him. I feel like it was because when he used to talk about it, he wasn't a motivational speaker. He was just substituting with the more he understood, the more grounded he was in what he really understood he wanted to do. And just watching that progression was really inspiring. And then to see him with the booth and the books, it was just it was funny because I was thinking about writing a book myself. I wanted to write a children's book about like helping them with learning like healthy habits, like how to calm down and just dealing with their emotions and stuff like that. And I already written it on Google Docs and to see that he had a physical book. I don't know how to make a book. I don't know how to do stuff like that. I just had a thought, an idea, but to see that he had a booth set up and he's selling them and he finished what he wanted to start. That's honestly why I have this magazine. It just came. I seen that like he did that. He when you're in certain environments and you don't see certain things, it makes you feel like it's impossible. Like when I seen that he had a book, I knew I could have a book one day. I knew I could have a magazine one day. I remember one time my uncle he was invited to a fashion show and he was a part of a fashion show, and me seeing that, I knew I could have a fashion show one day. But if I never saw these things, I probably never would have thought it was possible to start a clothing brand or make a but those people, they don't even understand how impactful they can be too, just by living out their dreams and really clothes. So when you see them really have the shirts and really have what they've been talking about, it's really powerful because everyone has ideas in their head that they wish they could see. From not having it to having it, and they know how it happened. Like me, honestly, I really just started writing. I just started writing. Just start. Like I was really the crap. Just start. I don't know how I'm gonna finish it, but I'm gonna finish it. And it just everything worked itself out. Like in the beginning, I was looking up how to make a magazine, and I was so lost. I was looking up YouTube videos, places I could get it printed, and then maybe I could staple them together, or maybe I have to go to a print shop, or this or that, or this or that. And then I just told myself, like, it was months of just researching it, and then I just told myself, like, I haven't even started the magazine. I'm already trying to figure out how to print it. So it's like, I'm just gonna do it and figure out the rest later. So I just started writing, whether it's on paper, drew pictures on my iPad, whatever, content. And then I wanted to finish it. And by the time I finished it, it finished itself. I knew exactly where I was gonna get it printed. I knew how much it was gonna cost. I knew that it wasn't barely gonna cost me anything. Luckily, it all worked itself out. But I would have never thought I could have done something like that if I didn't see it in real life. But yeah, Mr. Fields, that's his name. Mr. Fields, his what do you call him? Business card.
Yeah.
I still got his business card to this day. I do want to hit him up. He is one of those people where I do want to say, hey, like, I didn't give up.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still trying. I'm still going at it. Like, what are you doing? For
Yeah.
real.
Well, I can see I can definitely see the progress that you made just since, you you know, um, and you have, definitely made your ideas come to reality. I see that with the magazine and everything, and it's a beautiful magazine. It is.
And that's thanks to you too, honestly. I don't know if you saw the page in the magazine where I shouted you out.
About the shirts.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
You did
yeah.
a little bit. That
Yeah.
was my little bit.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I just did it. I saw what you were trying to do.
But that's
I saw
what
what you were
helped
trying
me.
to do.
That's what helped
Yeah.
me because I was like with the magazines. How do I get inventory of to do it? So it wasn't something that I thought I could do. But
Right.
since you gave me that, you really birthed this whole thing for
Wow.
me.
Wow.
Because it wasn't just that you had one shirt, it was that you had a lot of shirts. So in my
Yeah.
head, it it literally expanded my mind. So now I don't have to think about, okay, how can I make one shirt and sell one shirt? I can make a lot of shirts. I actually have the chance to do something big. But now after I've made like 10, now that I'm confident in myself, I know that not that I don't need the shirts, but that I genuinely understand I can make a lot of clothes. So
Yeah.
now I want to figure out an easier way to do it. But it definitely gave me, it was like a ticket. Cut. Because I don't know, maybe I would have started in 2 more years. Maybe I would have, I don't know, but it definitely helped. It definitely helped. I do gotta say thank you to you too, for real. Because I know I don't say it enough, but I am very appreciative of you. For real. I want to tell you, but I'm almost embarrassed. But I do appreciate you guys more than you guys could ever know. And I don't say it enough, but I try my best to be the best that I can be in return.
And thanks for saying it. But I'm glad I could help in that way. And I knew that's why I just said take them, do it, because I knew that like go with it, because I knew that you know you you're gonna scrap a few of them, because you're gonna mess up a lot of them. But there were so many until you can mess up a few of them and still have plenty more to work with. So that's why I wanted for you to have them, because I saw what you were trying to do.
All of the shirts on the rack right now, I've messed up all of them. Literally.
So you
so
you went 2 or 3 before you got to the final finish on each one of them?
I had to patch them up, literally.
Yeah, I see when you put them together.
I had to put actual like they were, like, you know how I've hand painted some of them? Sometimes there would be a little bit of paint on the table, and then it would touch a part of the t-shirt, and I would have stains in like places. So over analyzing them, and I caught every stain on every shirt, and I took bleach and a Q-tip, and I dipped the Q-tip in the bleach, and I dipped it on the stains on all of them, and I just thought it was gonna take care of the stains. And then I put them through the washer and the dryer, and every spot that I pointed out came out to a hole.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't dilute the bleach or anything.
You put pure bleach on them and everything.
I put a lot because I wanted to get
trying
the
to get
stains
that
out.
stain out.
Yep. So every shirt, I was about to give up that day. Because it was 10 shirts. All of them had holes everywhere.
See, well,
but then
trial and error. That's what they call it,
right.
trial and error.
But
you started from scratch, though. You started from scratch.
But no, I messed up for sure.
Yeah, but that's all right. That's part of progress. But now you got your magazine out. And it's a beautiful magazine. I like the illustrations in there. I like the topics, the conversations in there, and just the arrangement, how you got it arranged and everything, and the clothes. I like the t-shirts. I already told you I wanted a couple of them. I wanted to wear myself. So yeah, and it's good because they see that right there. Here it is. This is my line, and it's rated in the magazine.
I
So
wish I would have been a little bit more transparent though. Like, I should have talked about the holes. I
Yeah.
didn't though. I just showed the finished product. I don't know. I'm definitely doing that the next one. The next one, recovery and consistency. I'm definitely gonna be more open about where I am and how I'm actually doing. Cause I feel like I can't grow unless I acknowledge that I'm not really making sales. Like if I just act like, oh, I got it all figured out. I'm gonna be a billionaire, whatever. I'm just gonna blow up, but I'm not acknowledging where I'm messing up. It's never gonna. I gotta.
yeah, details are important. You know,
Yeah.
that's why a lot of people make mistakes. You know, they run out with the finished thing, and then after that, they find out that they left out so much.
So many business.
You know what I mean? There's so much
I need
that
to
they
learn.
didn't think about before they got there, and that's why they tell you, you know, when you open a business, you know, it's best to, you know, do your research,
Yep.
you know, because it's so many aspects to it,
Yep.
and
I would come to this library, I would spend hours looking up stuff. It's just when you're doing the research, that's something that's like a long-term thing. It's gonna help you out long-term. Like you're not gonna research t-shirts and then tomorrow you're gonna be the best brand ever.
right,
So it kind of feels like you're not doing anything when you're doing all this research, but I'm learning. I'm still learning and I'm gonna keep learning, but yeah, it's definitely important. I have to get back into that.
and I hope you do an article on Quiet Heroes in your magazine at some point. You know what I mean? Bring that in there too.
I'm glad you said that. I'm really
Yeah.
glad you said that. Yeah, I'll put it in the next one. I'll definitely put it in the next one. Third one because the second one.
You already got it made up. You already got it pretty much.
I have to be. I have
ahead.
Because once I put it out, I want people to already be anticipating another one.
Okay.
So I have to already have that one done. Like by the time this one comes out, just start in March 31st. I'll be done with the second one, and then I'll just keep moving like that. But the second one is called Recovery and Consistency. The third one is going to be called Do You Know Them? And I think that's a good segue into Quiet Heroes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's a good title right there, and it leans towards something like that, you know. So
like,
it would fit.
Do you know them? Like your friends. You might have friends, but do you really know them? Or kind of like, I don't know, if you were at a club or a bar or something and your friends were acting crazy and then someone's like, well, do you know them? It's like now you have a bad look on you, or I don't know, there's just different ways that you can say like, do you know them? But yeah, that's what that one's gonna be about, and I definitely can do that. I definitely can put you into that one for sure.
Yeah, because I think that, and it's just another way of getting it out there, you know.
And
through that venue too.
Right. So we're halfway through, like an hour into it now. So I think we can move into the second. What else you have going on? If you want to introduce it.
Well, I've been on a personal basis. I've always been active as far as exercising, working out, and being conscious of my diet and things like that over the years. For quite a number of years now, I've been practicing healthy lifestyle, and I do feel that it's a valuable thing, and certainly in my life it has. I have benefited from that greatly. I believe so. And I don't believe. I mean, I know I have because of the way I feel at this time in my life. But I have this saying, "Keep it moving." That kind of is it's kind of my my logo or my
Motto.
Yeah, my motto, more like my motto, is keep it moving, you know, because to me, you know, my philosophy is the body was created to move. You know, we got legs, we got arms, we got hands. These things were created to move, you know. So I think that by keeping them in constant motion, or as much as reasonably possible, you keep them you keep 'em, strong. You keep them in a good place. You know, I mean, active in an active place because um, if you know, it's like that old saying: if you don't use it, you lose it. You know, so it's kind of like the same way. You know, especially when you get older. You know, you find that if you not active, you know, you can get stiff, you get sore, you weaken, you begin to weaken and everything. But and a lot of older people, they kind of just accept and acknowledge in their mind this attitude that, well, I'm older now, I can't do the things that I used to. But they underestimate themselves because it's like they lose the desire to try. You know, yes, it gets a little harder when you get older and everything, but all you got to do is give yourself that extra push to keep going, and that extra effort, and you will find that you will get great benefits from that, as far as your health wise, and your activity, um, ability, and things like that. Um, so that's my philosophy is, you know, keep it moving. You know, you need to exercise, you need to work out, you need to watch what you eat and everything, because those things, you know, especially when you get older, you begin to realize that your wealth is in your health, you know, and just to be able to stay healthy, it takes on a much more important role in your life. So that's why, again, uh, my kind of motto is to keep it moving. You know, staying active. Yeah. So that's why, you know, I opened up a page on TikTok, and it's just basically called Keep It Moving. And the name of my page is Old Youngster, Old Youngster. And actually, there's a story behind that. I used to work out with some younger guys. And you know, when I worked out, I really, I mean, I worked out strenuously. I mean, strenuously, and I would and younger guys would often ask me, "Hey, OG," okay, they call me, you know, older guy, OG, you know, and they say, "I'm gonna work out with you, man, work out with you." So I would say, "Okay, come to my office," meaning like meet me at the gym. So they'd meet me there, and I can't tell you how many of them started out. Oh, they started out fine. They with me, hanging in there with me and everything. But sooner or later, after a day or two, they look at me and, you know, throw their hand up at me and say, and they would say stuff like, OG, I can't hang with you, man. You ain't gonna kill me up in here. You ain't gonna kill me. So, but that, I mean, when I did it, I did it. I didn't play with it. You know, I'd go for a couple hours. I mean, strenuously from one exercise routine to the other. You know, and they just couldn't keep up. Of course, they wasn't used to it. You know what I mean? They wasn't used. I was used to, because that, you know, I had like decades into it. And so, you know, but they would try, and sooner or later, you know, so needless to say, I didn't have many partners to work out with when I was younger, because they just didn't last too long, you know. So, and it was funny. But then one day, one of them, you know, we was talking about the age difference in me and him and everything, and he was saying, "How can you do that?" He's like, "I can't keep up with you, OG." He's like,
I don't think you even mentioned your age.
"Yeah, oh, I'm 75 years old. I'm 75 years
If
old."
you weren't my grandpa, I would be, oh wow, what?
Yeah.
Like if I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm 75 years old, so so that's where I got that name, because one day, one of the younger guys I was working out with, and he kind of gave it up at one point, and he just was like standing over there, you know, leaning on one of the exercise machines, looking at me like, "How do you do it?" And
How do you do it?
yeah, I kind of laughed a little
You're
bit
probably
at it,
way more in shape than me, honestly.
cause
You definitely probably am.
I said, well, thank God, I thank God too, but you know, and then, you know, like people say, and I think there's something to that, they say it has to do with genes too, man. You got good genes, they say that, and I believe maybe that has something to do with it
You've
too.
also been training for a long time.
But I have been doing it for a very long time, and so he leaned over there, and and so I was saying, come on, man, you know, you're a young man, you can keep up with me, you can do this, you can do this. He's like, he's like, and then out clear, but he said, you ain't no old man. He said, you an old youngster. So that's where I got that name, old youngster, from. He said, you ain't no old man, you an old youngster. I said, well, I said, I like that name. I think I'm gonna use that name. I'm gonna hold on to that name. So that's why I named my page Old Youngster and everything. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I like doing it. And to me, like I try to tell anybody who gets into exercising, I tell them, you know, results are the best motivation. Once you start working out and you see the little results in your body and the way you feel, how much better you feel, you don't need nobody to tell you to keep going. You're going to keep going because you're going to say, wow, oh, I like the way I look. I like the way I feel. So it's the best motivation. That's why I tell people, you know, just do it. Keep it moving. And
I was thinking about that the other day when I was running on the treadmill.
Yeah, keep it moving. Yeah, because that's I mean, you know, and it is. It's just you get in, and once you start exercising, like I tell people, a lot of people start and they stop because they out or they start out too aggressive working out. They hit it too hard, as to say. They think they can do a lot more than they can at first. You can't do that. You can't run out there like blockbusters thinking you're gonna be buffed by Friday.
Right.
You know.
But keeping it moving is a good motto, because like I've been trying to slow myself down too in the gym. Instead of running super fast, setting the speed to the max, and just I'll do it really slow, but I'll try to do it as long as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's better because that way you give your body a chance to catch up.
Right, like conditioning.
Conditioning gives your body a chance to catch up what you're doing. But a lot of people do it the other way around. Start out too aggressive, you know, and they find themselves the next day, you know, they can hardly get out of bed because they're so sore that they can't move, and then they make a choice at that point. They be like, I can't do it, and that's what they say. They give up at that point. They say, I can't do, because they think for some reason.
It went from hot to cold.
Yeah, and they think that it's gonna stay like that. They're gonna keep that pain. But no, I try to tell them the pain is going to subside. You know what I mean? Just slow down a little bit. You got to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Give yourself a couple days for the severity of the soreness to go away. Yeah. You know, and then go back out there and start out slow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That was the hardest thing I had to do. Slow down the treadmill. Just jog slow.
Yeah. You know, it takes time. It takes time.
I'm trying to run, I can't even run.
See, you can't do that. That's why I tell people you can't start out like that. I
didn't want to jog. I don't know. I always, like, in my mind, I'm way bigger than I am. So, or I'm way better than I am. So it's like, oh, if I get on the treadmill, I'm obviously going to run a couple miles. And I can't run a mile. So let me start jogging.
See, and that's the thing. And people do that. They make that mistake. And I know for a good example, I know, like, I'd be jogging, you know, and I like to run the canals because the canals, they go for so long. I mean, they just go for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Any amount of miles you want to put in, you can run the canals because they run all the way across town, through town, to another town. The canals just run forever. So I like running them because you can get your distance in. And so I ran those for years. And I noticed that every year, right around January the 1st, most of the time, it was very sparse people that were running. It'd be maybe me, maybe one or two other people, and I'd see them at different spots in my run, or different, distances in my run. I'd see them because that'd be there. But that was it. But every year, the first of the year, it'd be the canal track would be just packed with people running on both sides of the canal, up and down, up and down. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? you know, and I see it, and the same thing would happen every year. They start out like gangbusters the first year, and all of a sudden, about the first week, you see it dwindling down. The numbers be dwindling down. Then about pretty much about the third week in there, it'd be back to the regulars, me and a couple four other people. So all those people would disappear, and I could just look at them and see what they're doing wrong, cause they be just running down there like they've been running for years. You know, they just be kicking it down there. And I'm like, I look at them and say, he ain't gonna last. She ain't gonna last. She ain't gonna last. And sure enough, I didn't see them no more after a couple of days. They go, cause they probably limping around the house so sore that they can't barely get around. It's kind of funny how they do it though. But people, they do that and then they give up. You know, they give up. But like I tell everybody, you're gonna be sore. If you ain't worked out in a while, you're gonna be sore. Your body's gonna be sore because you're stressing your muscles, and your muscles are not used to that. You know, so you're gonna get sore. But what you do is even if you have to take off a day, if the pain is that severe, take off a day or two, let the pain subside a little bit, and then come back at it. Even if you have to walk for the first day,
That's
walk.
what I was gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
keeping it moving doesn't mean
Exactly.
going crazy.
Exactly.
Literally just keeping it moving.
And
That's what I try to do too. I was kind of sore from the gym. My legs were sore. So like just walking on the treadmill,
Right.
doing a light jog is better than nothing.
Yeah, so that's what I try to get people to understand. But many people I see, once they feel that pain from not working out for a while or not doing it all, and they feel that initial pain because they went out and started to went overboard the first time, and then they kind of say, oh, they make up their mind, oh no, is this what it's gonna be? I can't do this, but they don't understand. But I was the same way when I started running. The first time I ran, I was like, nope, I can't do this. And I came home the next day, I was so I said, well, I want to get in shape, but running is not going to do it. So I kind of felt like, but something said, no, just go back. And so I waited a couple days and I got back into it. And then eventually, you know, like I said, I got to the point where I ran a marathon. Actually, I ran more than one, because when you practice for a marathon, you actually,
How do you practice?
running for a marathon, I mean, normally everybody is different. Their point of progression is different. Some people may run 3 miles a day. Some people may run 10 miles a day. But as you get closer to your marathon, they suggest that you put in more miles, because you got to realize you got to be ready for that 26.5 miles. So if you only running 3 or 4 miles a day, you ain't going to get it. But what they tell you is as you get closer, build your mileage up, build your mileage up, build your mileage up. And actually, the last month or so that I was running for marathons, I would run 20 miles a day. 20 miles a day. I had got up to 20 miles a day at one time, just do 20 miles. And I did that, I had got up to that I did that for about a month before the marathon. I was like 20, 21, 22 miles like that. So, and I built up my stamina and my speed and stuff like that during those times. And then finally, the day came, and for the first one, and I ran it. But when I think back about all them 20 miles I put in, I ran.
Does anybody run a marathon?
Many miles.
Does anybody run a marathon completely without stopping?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
You didn't stop?
Didn't stop.
You didn't start walking?
Let me put it this way. I did on the first one. What happened was I got severely cramped up, and about the 21st or 22nd mile, my legs just started cramping up. They started cramping up. But they tell you as you run, you have to stay hydrated all the time. I mean, just even if you think you ain't, they'll hand you stuff, or they have those. They have the booths there, and then they have the paper cups all up and down. They're lined up with Gatorade, different electrolytes, stuff like that. Bananas there, and they'll. But what I did is I didn't stay hydrated enough, and so when I got to that 21st mile, my legs just started knotting up on me. They started cramping and knotting up on me, and I slowed way down, and then I started limping. But I knew it was wrong, so I went over there and I grabbed the electric light, and the lady pushed it because she said, "Here, take this." That's the electric light. So I took that and I gulped that down and everything, and it was amazing how about maybe a minute or two later, my legs loosened back up again, and
That was the only time you ever stopped?
Yep, and then I got to running again, and then I made it through.
So you could jog the whole way?
I could do that. Yeah, I would have done it if
I
would have stayed hydrated. I would have made it through the whole
I
thing.
even thought seasoned runners would walk some parts of it.
They got guys that. No, they got people that run that mile in I mean they run it in
So
2 hours, 2.5, 2.25 hours. They run some of the guys and what's nice about it is when I ran my first one, the guy said when I finished and when he found out my time, which was I ran it in 3 hours and 46 minutes. I ran in 3 hours and 46 minutes. But when I got done, I was talking to some elite athletes that was standing over. They were like in a group of them over there, but you could just look at them and see that they had the body of runners. Y'all could just look at their body and say, them guys, man. And then I got close to them and I was sitting on the bench there because the funny thing about it is when I made it across that finish line, I was in such pain that and I was actually afraid. And so I saw an ambulance that was parked over there. So I went over towards the ambulance, where the ambulance was, and I sit down on the bench right there because I said, well, if something happened, I'm right here by the ambulance, so they could get to me. But yeah, it just, I was like, I didn't know what was going to happen. But anyway, while I was sitting there, there was a group of guys there, and they were like world-class runners, and I asked them some questions about it and everything, and they said, "This your first one?" And I said, "Yes, my first one." And they said, "What's your time?" I said, "It's 3 hours and 46 minutes." And they said, "Man, wow, that's good for your first one." They said, "That's good." And I was like, "Man," and they was running it in like 2.5 hours, and so 2.5 hours, 2:15, stuff like that.
Crazy to think about.
Yep.
2 hours somebody was running 26 miles.
Yep, exactly. So
while you're watching a movie.
they already ran 26 miles. So he said, so they told me, they said, well, you know what? They said, you really did good. You did good. They said, because you automatically knock off a half an hour on your next one. You are automatically. He said, that goes without saying, everybody knocks off at least a half an hour, because your body is used to the run. You know how to run it next time. You're going to be more careful. You're going to know how to pace yourself better and all that. So he said, you're going to knock off a half an hour the next time. So I figured if I knocked off a half an hour, that's going to put me like 2 hours and, 3 hours, like 3 hours and maybe 10 minutes, stuff like that. And so they said, once you get to like 2 hours and 45 minutes and stuff like that, there's like, companies will sponsor you. Like the big companies, Coca-Cola and all them that they actually sponsor, and them guys travel all over the world. They to marathons all over the world. So that put an idea in my head, but I was like, nah, I got a family right there. I can't be traveling all. They were young guys, they were single and stuff. But yeah, the big companies, they get sponsored by the big companies, and they send them all over the world just running, and they're like beach bums, you know what I mean? They just go all over the world. They pay for their everything. It's paid for, and they just hang.
Sounds like a really nice lifestyle.
they hang out on the beach and just do. But yeah, but so again, getting back to the original subject of just staying in shape. Yeah, I'm a big advocate of exercising. I think everybody should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
So it's just, especially that. So that's why I have that page, and it's directed mostly to seniors, 55 and up. To get them, because they're mainly the group that become more sedentary in their lifestyle. You know what I mean? They just don't move too much. So
yeah, light moving is better than no moving. Just be moving. Keep it moving. Like even weights or whatever, if you feel like you're about to reach your max, just go down in a few weights. Like,
Yeah.
that's better than stopping. I don't know, we put too much pressure on ourselves. Think we have to do so much, like instead of just taking a light walk or just going outside or just little stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff about marathons though, I definitely assume like every 3 miles they start walking.
No,
Cause to me it sounds impossible. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I can. Like when I was conditioning myself, I was jogging for like 2 minutes and then I would slow down. And I would jog for 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well, that's a start.
But to hear you say
It's a
like
start.
26, like you ran 20 miles a day,
Mm-hmm.
is
I'd say the last month I was running
oh my.
20 miles a day.
I wanna.
Preparing for it.
How do you know like how much more to push yourself though? Like say if I could run a straight mile, right, without
Mhm.
stopping, when would I know to, what do you just add a little bit each day, or you just see how much more you can keep going, or how do you go from 1 mile to 3 and from, I don't know. I
You just
really
know it.
don't
You
know.
just have to pace yourself.
You
It's
can
just
feel it.
it's a matter of your
Mm.
body. That's why I tell people to listen to their body too. When your body is telling you that especially when you first starting out, your body is telling you that you don't want to do no more. You don't feel it. Just stop. Or slow down. Walk. If you're running, just start walking.
Right.
And because it all takes time. You got to build up. You got to build up those muscles. Got to be built up. You know what I mean? It takes time to build them up, and to make them firm like they should be and everything. Stuff takes time.
It's
But-
crazy.
But
It's-
but people give up too. I found that people just give up too soon. They
That's
underestimate themselves. They just say, I can, and they get into that I can't frame of mind. That's why I don't believe in saying I can't.
Yeah, and
I don't
even
believe saying that
it is
either.
important to know like tomorrow's a new day. So, like even if it was too much today, just get back at it tomorrow. That was my biggest issue with exercise is I would give it my all, like my all,
Well, yeah, see.
to the point where I couldn't anymore. It was too much. I put too much into it. Now I don't really like this experience. So
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because you push yourself too far.
you wanna
You
know
push
something
yourself
funny
too much.
about how out of shape I was? Or I kinda still am. I'm like an amateur right now.
Yeah.
But I was so out of shape. My aunt asked me to do a 3.6, I think. What are those called? When you do like 3 miles, what are those runs called? Do you know?
They got the
It's not a marathon. It's like
no, they have the
3K, I
yeah,
guess.
the Ks. They call
Yeah.
them 3K.
Yeah.
5Ks,
Right.
4Ks, all that stuff.
But
Yeah.
I did it with her, and she just started going off, and obviously I couldn't keep up, so I walked. She's run marathons too.
Oh, okay.
But I walked the whole way.
You walked the whole.
I walked the
whole
whole
thing.
way. I just refused to run. I used to really hate it. And I walked the whole way until I got to the finish line. I started running.
Yeah.
Like I had been running that whole time.
Yeah. You didn't fool her though. She knew because
Of
she
course
knew. She
She
knew by the
knew.
time that it took you to get
yeah.
there.
Yeah, of course
She was
knew.
like,
But nobody else knew.
Yeah, all they saw is you running over the finish line. And say, oh, she ran over the finish line. She made it. She did it good. Look, she's running strong.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the mentality I had. Just look like you're doing something. But now I'm trying to really slow it all the way down to the point where I want to do stuff like that too. I wish I could run a marathon. It really sounds impossible though. Like,
It does.
from
It
my
does sound
mindset.
impossible when you first. It was impossible for me when I first thought about it. I was like, I could never do that. I could never do that. But what I'll tell you a quick story about that too. What happened was I had been running for about maybe 7-8 years straight every day. And I used to see this one guy. He used to run in the same area that I used to run. He used to run that same route right there where I used to run. And I used to see him running, and And in my mind, I would think, man, if I could just run like that guy, man, that I wouldn't want to get no better than that because man, look at him go. And I admired him. And I had in my head, if I could just get as good as him, that's all I would want. So, like I said, I had been running for like 6, 7 years, maybe 8 years. I had some good timing by that. And I was running every day. And so one day I was feeling a little cocky, I guess, and I seen him coming. And I said to myself, I'm gonna see if I can keep up with him. Just keep up with him. So what I did is he was coming towards me, so I bent down like I had to tie my shoes, and I let him get about maybe 50 yards ahead of me, so he wouldn't think that I was, following him or nothing. I let him get enough far ahead of me so he wouldn't think anything. So he got about 50, 60 yards ahead of me, and so then I took off running after him. And so we got 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles, and I was still with him. I was still that same distance behind him, like, whoa. I started thinking, wow. And then we got into 7, 8 miles. I was still with him. I was still that same distance behind him. And I'm thinking to myself, how are you doing this? You can't run like that, dude. But I was actually doing it. I was keeping up with him. So then we got to be like the 8th mile. And my cockiness, because I had been running so long, and I was able to keep up with him all that time, and I was feeling good. I wasn't winded or anything at that point. So I got the idea. I said, you know what? I'm gonna pass him. So I stepped it up a little bit, and I actually ran past him. And I guess I got maybe about 100 yards, and all of a sudden I heard these feet pattering behind me. It was him. So he ran past me, right? So then I said, oh, I see, this is a race. I hit it. I mean, I went into almost a full-fledged sprint. And I passed him again. And I just kept running. I put everything in. I just kept running. I said, well, if he passed me now, he's just going to have to pass. But I'm going all the way with this. I'm going all the way. And so I ran all the way to the end, and I finished. And I turned around, and he was way back there. I outran him. So that blew my mind. I was like, poof. I beat the dude that was my idol. I just outran this dude. So then I went around. I walked around to the park because they had a fountain there where you get some water. And I went over there and I got some water. And he came over there right to the same fountain, but he stood behind me. And as I got finished, I stood up, and so he said to me, he said, you a good runner, man. And I said, no, man, you a good runner. I said, you was a good runner, man. And he goes, you should run marathons. And I was like, marathons? I said, man, I could never run a marathon. So he goes, yeah, you could, yes, you can. He said, because I run marathons and you a better runner than I am. And that blew me away.
Oh, so that's what kind of planted that in
Yeah, he planted that seed right there. He planted that seed right there.
Working out with people is such a different experience too.
Yep, it is.
They will show you that you could have way more than you
thought. It's a good, they'll motivate you. You know what I mean? With the right person, they'll motivate you.
I got that competitive spirit in me too. That's why I don't like working out with people. Because if they're way better than me, I'm going to push myself. One time I worked out with Rashad, and he was, Rashad is big, and like obviously his arms are bigger than mine, so he's lifting and stuff. Everything Rashad did, I did everything.
The same weight and everything? Oh.
And the next day, I literally had to take my jacket, and I had to tie it around my arm like a sling, because I couldn't extend my arm.
Oh my God. You had to wear a sling.
Yep. I had to make myself a sling because I couldn't put my arm down.
Yeah, you way overdid it that one.
But I realized I just still did it, but I could have injured myself.
Yeah, but you should have did it with a lighter weight. You should have had a lighter weight. You were doing it with the same weight that he was doing it. He was used to doing it with that weight. You wasn't.
I just refused. Like when I'm working out with somebody, you can't beat me. You can't. I'll never let
That's
you
that
beat
competitive spirit, yeah.
me. be in a sling the next day.
Wow. Yeah, but that's
But it does make a difference. Like if I'm by myself,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll do it like little jog. But if I'm with my
Yep.
friend who can really run, I might
Mhm.
do a little
Mhm.
bit more than I'm used to doing.
That's why people, that's why they like to work out with other people.
Mhm.
But you gotta find somebody in your same,
Right. That's why I
in your,
don't like working
in
out.
your, in your, somebody, if you starting out, get somebody just starting out like you don't wanna go up there with somebody that been doing it for a while, cause
Right.
it's gonna make
But I
yourself
kind of
feel
do. I
bad.
kind of do. And not to feel bad, but because they'll push me at least. Like I don't want to be with somebody who. I would rather work out with somebody who's way better than me.
Yeah.
Than who's on the same level.
Yeah, but being in the sling, that ain't, that's a little much right there. Have to put your arm in the sling.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a little overdo it right there.
I never knew it could get that bad.
Yeah, heck yeah,
Extend
heck
your
yeah,
arm.
heck yeah. People,
Because when I'm doing it, I feel like I could do it to an
Mhm.
extent. Like I'm struggling, but I'm still
Mhm.
doing it. But yeah, those next days you
the
realize
next day, that's when
pushed yourself a
that's
little
when
too
you,
hard.
yep, that's when the truth shows up usually. Okay,
So you went from running 10
what have
miles.
I done?
So you went from running 10 miles to thinking you could run a marathon.
Right.
That's
Right.
a big difference.
And he planted that seed. So and I just it's like I had to find out after that. You know what I mean? I had to find out. And then they had this local marathon that used to have it every year. It was called the New Time magazine. They had a magazine called New Time magazine, and it was a popular magazine, and they sponsored that marathon every year. So I signed up for it, and I ran it.
How far away was that from the run you just spoke about?
Where they had the marathon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was
Like how long?
It was like downtown Phoenix. We ran through
like I don't know why.
Phoenix, Tempe area.
No, I mean like how much time?
Oh,
Yeah.
the distance between that I decided to run it and did run it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like probably about 7 months, 8 months later.
That's not a long time.
About 7 or 8 months later,
That's
yeah.
not a long time.
No,
From
it wasn't.
10 miles to 26 miles.
Yeah, but I had already made up my mind. I said,
Hmm.
I knew that they had that one coming up every year.
That's a
I
huge
could have waited.
jump,
I could,
actually.
yeah, but I could have. I didn't want to wait till the next year because that was too long. I felt like it was too long. You know how you get something, you just want to do it. You want to, and you want to do it, and I want to do it now. I want to do it. So they had one coming up that year. I thought about that. I said, well, is this going to be too soon? Maybe I would wait till next year. But then I would have had to wait
Right, you still got to attempt it.
year
You
and a
gotta
half.
try. Right.
Yeah, it would have took me maybe another year and a half or a little more before the other one came up. So I said, no, I'm gonna run this one. So I did it. And,
so if you could go from 10 to 26 from 6-7 months.
Well, I didn't go exactly from 10 to 26 because I built it up. I built up to like 20 miles a day before I actually ran the marathon.
Right.
I went from 20 to like 12. Then I ran 12. Then I take it up to 14.
Right.
And then about a month before I actually ran the marathon, I had it up to 20 miles straight.
Right.
And that's when I knew. I said, yeah, I could do it. I think I could do it.
Do you think a complete beginner could train to run a marathon in 2 years? A beginner.
I would say no.
No.
I would say no, unless they have been, they've been like active in exercising like on a regular basis,
right.
and maybe running or something like that.
How long do you think it would take a complete beginner?
But a marathon, to run a marathon, I would think that person probably would have to be to the point in their life where they can run 10 miles easy. And not get, finish 10 miles and not be winded and stuff like that.
That is kind of like a personal question, right?
And it is, yeah,
Right.
it is.
You can't really say like.
You can't really say exactly.
Because some people could do it sooner than others.
Maybe,
Some
but
people could do it
yeah, I think
way later.
I think that it depends on your just your dedication, how much effort you want to put in it.
Right.
But
Have to make it like a lifestyle.
Yeah,
change.
yeah. I think that you in order to run a marathon, you can do it. Anybody can say I'm gonna run a marathon. They can go out there and walk half the way, and
Right.
maybe or
That's
walk
the
most of
unbelievable part about it, is that anyone can do it.
Anybody can, yeah.
Right.
And you know, when I was running that, we seen the people who were walking, you know, they walk, but,
Right.
I mean, walking
And that's
26.5
still, I have a
miles.
lot of respect for that too.
Yeah, for them to even do it.
Mm-hmm.
I got respect for anybody who finish a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
Even
they
the
walk,
people that don't finish it, the people
Yeah.
that just try to do it. And
they
not
put in
to
effort,
leave,
yeah.
but still, I would feel the same as you. Like, I would feel like I gotta at least run 20 plus miles before I even think about joining it.
Yeah, you have to build
But
up.
shout out to the people that don't. Shout
Yeah.
out to the people that say, you know what,
Mhm.
I'm gonna do this marathon, and they just do it.
And they just do it, yeah. And you see them there and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
they be walking most of the time and everything. But to me, I wouldn't do it because I'd be thinking, if I walk 26.5 miles, I ain't getting home till 12 o'clock tonight. I start walking at 8 o'clock this morning.
Right, I didn't even consider the time.
I start walking at 8 o'clock this
Right.
morning. By the time I get home
No,
tonight,
you're definitely right.
it's gonna be 10, 11 o'clock in the evening
Right, 'cause
before I
if you-
get to home.
If you ran the whole thing
Gosh,
and did it in almost 4 hours,
yeah.
then yeah, if you walk,
Oh my
you're
God,
gonna
that's
get home
that's
really
way
late.
too much walking.
It's gonna be dark outside.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of patience. Yeah,
I don't know why I didn't think about
I don't have that kind of patience to walk
Yeah.
that long nowhere.
No, yeah. If you're a beginner, you're gonna
Yeah.
be getting home real late.
Yeah, but it's exactly. It's gonna be like, where you been?
Everybody already went home.
Everybody, exactly. Ain't nobody there.
No more water.
You'd be lonely person walking by. Probably took the sign away and everything. By that is, well, at least you know yourself. I did it. I did it. They don't know, but I did it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's way too much walking for me. I don't like walking like that. But
No, yeah, you definitely
not
gotta.
at all.
Yeah, you gonna have to be jogging, speed walking, something.
Yeah,
Mm.
but yeah, it's an experience, you know, and that's why I look at life and everything. That's why I tell people, no, never say never, you know. Never say, you don't know what you can do until you try.
Mm.
See?
Right.
You know, you just don't, but people, to me, they just give up too easily, you know. It's just, they try something and it don't work out right then, right now, you know, and no, because, like, if you think about it in life, nothing worth having really comes easy. You know what I mean? Nothing worth having really comes easy. You gotta work for it. You gotta put some effort in to get some effort out of it and get some benefit out of it. You know.
Right.
And so, but I think that, you know, I encourage, especially seniors now. I just try to encourage them on my TikTok page to join me, you know, when doing a little workout and just talk about things that I try, because it's mainly about motivation. It's mainly, to me, it's about motivating seniors, you know, because that's what they mostly need, is just to be somebody to motivate them to do it, because they just don't. They're the worst. They just like, I can't now. They start saying, I'm too old. I'm too old. No, you're not. You know, it's a frame of mind. I'm too old.
Mm.
So, but you'd be surprised.
You're in way better shape than me, so
You'd be
it
surprised.
definitely it inspires me.
Well, but you're young. You got youth, and I got age. You got youth.
But
The
still,
difference is the difference. I might be stronger than you and lifting weights and things like that, but what I found out is, it seems like to me, like it's like when you get older, even though you're in shape though, your body is not the same as a young person, because a young person has that recovery thing going for them. That youth, they recover faster and easier. When you get older, you get something you just don't. And I found that out to be a fact in my life, because when I was younger, when I got sick, man, it didn't last. Like, it came, it left. But now when I come down with something, I'm like, when is this thing going to get up off of me? Get up off of me, and it just seems to linger on, you know. So, but one thing for sure is, though, when you are in shape, you do bounce back and you come all the way back. It may take you a little longer, but you're going to come back. And some people, that's why a lot of people, older people, they get hit with something serious and they just don't get over it. You know, it kind of reaps havoc in their body from that point on the rest of their life. But if they were in shape, they could go back to the way they were. So,
Right.
yeah, so that
Health is wealth.
truly is. It truly is.
Hour and 50 minutes.
Oh, really? Right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
If there's anything else you want to touch on, any of your social medias you want to shout out?
I hope that you know any seniors that would hear this or get to hear this, I would certainly join my page or come view my page on TikTok. It's under Quiet Heroes 7 Quiet Heroes 7-4, because I ain't changed it over to 7-5 yet, but
What
it's
is
still
that
at
on?
7-4. TikTok.
TikTok.
Quiet Heroes
7-4.
7-4.
So you do got it called Quiet Heroes.
No, it's I'm sorry. It's old youngster.
Oh.
Yeah, quite. I mean, I talk so much about that, and I say keep it moving. I keep it moving, but the actual page is called Old Youngster 7-4.
Oh, okay. So not Quiet Heroes.
No, not quite here.
Maybe that'll be the next one. Quiet Hero 7-4. Old youngster.
Yeah, Old Youngster 7-4
TikTok.
on TikTok. Yeah.
Where you talk about keeping it moving and important exercising is. Else speak on their Quiet Heroes and talk more in depth about that topic. And time too, because this really is a learning experience every time we do this. We can definitely add some breaks in between. Go straight.
Yeah.
If you want to, but if you can, you can. But I don't want to have to force so much, you know. Like
Yeah.
have some time to think about what we talked about, and so we can come back with more. Just trying to think about how we can make it better.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to invite people too, because sometimes I don't know what to say. I don't know if I'm the best host. I know I'm a good engineer. I know how to put everything together.
Mm-hmm.
But as a host wise, I wish I could come up with more questions. I'll just be more
Oh,
prepared.
you did good.
Thank you.
This is our first. This is
Right,
our
right,
first one.
right.
So
Right.
you know you gotta allow for all that right now. But
Right.
I think we did. I think we did good.
Right.
That sound fine to me. But I ain't got
Right.
no extra.
I gotta get a better camera angle next time too. I cut
Yeah.
myself out.
I think I did too, because I meant to stay this way, but I found myself leaning more back this way. It probably kept the side of my head all through it, but
I'm gonna write some notes.
that's not what I meant to. I meant us to have some time in the camera, but it's okay. Like you said, it's
Right,
all a
this is the
learning.
first one.
It's a learning process.
First one, we're gonna keep it moving and keep.
And it'll get better.
Right.
Better each time. So
So,
yeah, I look forward to it. I have fun. This is nice.
right.
I like doing this.
It's a good experience.
And it is. Yeah.
Right. I think so too. I definitely think so too.
I've been thinking for
I need
a while.
To be more prepared.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I just that's all I did. I just basically it was all off the top of my head. But but I enjoyed it.
You were gonna say something else though. I feel like I don't know.
No, I wasn't. I was just gonna say that this was a new experience. Because especially this top subjects that we covered about the Quiet Hero, I think that's a significant and subject or an important subject to talk about.
I definitely
that
feel like
people don't talk about that kind of thing much. You don't hear
right.
Much about.
Quiet Heroes, keeping it moving. They're both motivate, inspiring topics. At Nostalgia Park, like I know I said at the beginning, like we empower artists to support collaboration and resources. But the end of that mission statement. So we don't believe in just supporting people simply. your following count or whatever. We believe that what your message is to the world is way more important than your following. Because there are people like Quiet Heroes that want to make a difference, but they got it to where people can hear what they have to say. And I really want to build that platform for people so that they don't have to worry about being a celebrity, a superstar, whatever, but they can still make a difference with what they believe is important to them and to the world. And just the time, people like that who keep it on the low, they have a very potent message just because they don't care about getting followers. They have something important to say. So that's definitely what we stand for and are gonna keep doing. And this is gonna be a really good experience. I have we just put out the first magazine. It'll come out March 31st. Just start. And I think this whole journey will be really cool. Just because we are practicing what we preach. This is my first magazine. This is our first podcast. He just had an idea. He just said, I have an idea. I want to do a radio show, and everything just fell into place. It just happened into our lap, and we're here now and doing the best that we can to keep this. But this part is probably the most beautiful part of it, because as time goes by, you will see that we didn't really know what we were doing, but we figured it out, and we kept moving, and we kept making things through trial and error. And it's, you don't usually see this part of people's story. This is usually that they don't post, they don't talk about, but I think it's important to be real, because once it does blow up, it's like, wow, I saw that. Like I remember when they said they wanted to do that. I remember when they had X, Y, and Z views. I remember when, like I said, like the people in my life that have had a big impact on me, it's because I saw them before it happened. So to see on the computer and talking about clothes, to you want to come with me and take pictures at the fashion show I'm having? It's like, what? Like, so then when you're standing there and you're taking the pictures, it's just here to there. And when I'm getting the book, my substitute teacher, it's really inspiring to see. And this whole thing is just really cool. So it's really good that we get to document this part of the journey. Because we will keep doing it. This isn't the last one that we're gonna make. So
and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to. It makes me happy that what you offering them, or what we're offering them, is a platform or avenue to, be a part of this, or to be, to be able to express themselves on a subject like this. Quiet Heroes, with people in their significant people in their lives. Here's a platform for them where they can come on and speak their piece, that to other people, and encourage other people with it. And it's almost like, it's kind of like a snowball effect when that starts to happen, because somebody else gets encouraged, then somebody going to get encouraged from what they said, or from what somebody said, and then they're going to want to share. And next thing you know, you got
what we should do?
people just
came up with
offer to share all over the place, and that's the goal, right?
Right.
That's what it's about.
Right. And I just thought of this. So like how I kind of picture myself in the future, I'm always like thinking about the future, but I kind of want to be the person to sit back and listen to the stories. Like I want to help put everything together and get the structure right and keep us on time. But it would be cool to bring people in. And honestly, now that I think about it, I think it would be really cool if this is possible. But we also don't forget we have a phone input on here too, so we can always call people in. But
so we can we got a line that can come in and we can open the line for
Like
the
you
public
hear
too.
the music that's playing. This is
Mm-hmm.
from the iPad.
Okay.
So if say I can use my phone instead, it's just Bluetooth. So
Oh,
if
okay.
someone were to call, we would hear it just like how we hear the music right now.
Wow.
Mess with the
Yep.
volumes and everything. But
Wow. Yep.
what I was gonna say is, I think that we should bring someone in or have someone call in, either one person or maybe even two people. But then I think we should keep. So say like for example, mine is Mr. Fields, right? Um, Say like we call him, let him know that this is what we're doing, and I might even speak about him and tell him on the air how I feel, and then on the next one he gets to share his, and because I think it's cool, because what I was thinking at first was just simply just trying to repay them in some type of way, but I think it would be cooler if we do like, um, it's kind of like every episode is like a trailer. It's like, I once knew this guy and he did. I'm talking about him, building him up, and then he shows up, and now he's speaking about himself. I wrote a book, and yeah, I did this, and yeah, she was a bad student there. She was a good student there. I remember. I'm glad you're doing this now. And then it's like, well, who's your quiet hero? Well, my dad is. And well, what about your dad? And then they're building a trailer for the next episode, trailer for the next episode, and it does just keep moving. I think it would be cool to do it like that, even if it's a phone call, even if it's, because I was thinking of, at first, my first idea was like, okay, we'll just call, I just wanted to shout you out and tell you that we appreciate you, and that's it, and then move to ask the quiet hero who their quiet hero is.
Yeah, if at all possible, that would even be better. You know, if
you would just have to ask their permission. Would you want to set up a phone call? Would you want to? If they're in the area, like you said, the guy, if you can think of someone around here that would be interested, or not even interested. I don't think it's good to word it like that, because it's not about being on the podcast. It's about who is your quiet hero, and then just trying to reach out after that. Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea. Because I do want to hear people's.
Yes, that's what I'm going to enjoy.
Right. 2 hours exactly on the dot. This was a really, really good experience. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks we appreciate it. Hopefully it will reach some ears. Some people can hear our project and join us. That's what we're looking for.
Better camera views, better audio, better everything.
Like they say, live and learn.
All right.
Yeah.
I muted our mics. It's just I can mute our mics. So like, say if we ever want to take a break, I could just play. Right now, I'm recording just the music.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So our time's not up though, huh?
Yeah, we're here till 3, so it's only 2:26. We started recording pretty fast.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought maybe you were running like slow.
Nope. Yeah. Cool.
They must have a men's bathroom on the floor, don't they?
There's one downstairs.
Oh, is it on the first floor?
Yeah, like as soon as where we came in, it's right to the left.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll wait for you to get done. Just go as we're going out the door.
Yeah, it's just downstairs.
And this thing's still recording over here.
Yep.
How you turn it off?
Just press the X in the corner.
Oh, okay, right there.
But it's private, so nobody can see it.
Okay.
And then you can end it